Hi guys, and welcome to my channel, Changing Phases Tarot. I'm very happy to have you here with me today. For my returning subscribers, thank you for staying with me. I appreciate all of your likes and your comments. And for new viewers, I'm happy that you found me here on YouTube. And I do hope that you enjoy the reading today and that the messages resonate with you. If they don't, please just keep in mind that these are general readings, and in order to receive a more personalized reading focusing specifically on you and what is going on in your life right now, you would need to get a private reading with me. And if you're interested, you can take a look at my website. That's changingphasestarot.weebly.com, or you can send me an email at changingphasestarot@gmail.com, and I'll be able to give you information about the types of readings that I offer. Now, today's reading will be an extended weekend reading. So we're looking for the messages, the energy surrounding us on the weekend of December 15th through the 17th. I will be using for the tarot cards, the Sun and Moon Tarot deck this weekend, and we'll be pulling one card from the Earth Magic Oracle card deck. Okay. Just to let you know, the mid-monthlies, they are coming out. They'll be coming out this weekend. I'm just finalizing everything. So this weekend, be looking out for the mid-monthlies. And then probably the beginning of this following week, I will be posting the 2008 overview. And again, that will be, a different reading. It's just an additional reading that I'm putting out, focusing on all of the energy surrounding each sign during each month of the upcoming year in 2018. Okay. All right. So let's get started here. I have been meditating off camera and have already shuffled the deck, but we'll give the deck a few more shuffles here. So Spirit, what do we need to know? What are the messages for the weekend of December 15th through December 17th, 2017? What are the energies surrounding us on this weekend? What are the messages for the weekend of December 15th through the 17th? What do we need to know? Please show us the messages for the weekend of December 15th through the 17th. What do we need to know? Okay, let me go ahead and shuffle this deck as well. So Spirit, one additional message from the Earth Magic Oracle card deck for the weekend of December 15th through the 17th. What do we need to know? One additional message for the weekend of the 15th through the 17th. Okay, and the card that we have is, oh, yikes, Tsunami, Wake Up Call. Okay, so let me show you, actually let me set the cards up and then we can see them a bit better, and then I'll go through the message for the reading. Give me 1 second. Okay, now we can see the cards. All right, so we have, I showed you the Oracle card. We have for the Tarot portion, the first card is the Five of Cups. Okay, so water energy here. And in this deck, it is called Disappointment. In the middle position, we have the Ten of Wands. And in this deck, it is called Oppression. And then the last card, the outbound energy, we have the King of Cups, so more water energy. And then the overall energy for this weekend is the Hermit. Okay, that's Major Arcana number 9 in the Major Arcana. So starting off with the Hermit as the overall energy, we know that, with the Major Arcana card, this is, it's a more powerful message. So kind of a powerful card for the overall energy for the weekend. This card is typically linked with Virgo, and it does have to do with, like you would kind of associate with, a hermit as somebody who retreats, takes that time to sort of stay away from everybody else, retreat from the world. It's a card that has to do with introspection, meditation. It could be a time for study and analysis. So you sort of studying, you possibly trying to study a particular situation, to, figure out the best way for you to, to handle that situation. But it really has a lot to do with the self, the inner self, those hidden things in life, right? The hidden truths of life. We see that the hermit here is carrying the, this sand clock here, and then we also have the sand timer, and then we have the wand. And usually the hermit is, is sort of guided by this this light, right? Usually it's a lantern, so it's guided by a lantern, the hourglass, as well here, sort of guiding this hermit in the search for inner light, inner wisdom. So it's, it's a powerful card. It's a card that has to do with you seeking some type of inner truth or something that is hidden. And interesting, because we have on the tsunami card, there's a full moon. We have the full moon right here, and then, we also have a moon here, which also has to do with hidden things, right? Things being hidden and needing to uncover those things. But we'll see how this card ties in with the rest of our reading. So beginning with the Five of Cups, this could be the energy surrounding us as we leave the week. So on Friday, entering into the weekend. And the Suit of Cups it's water energy. So this has to do with, generally associated with emotions, with feelings. It's the water signs. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, especially when we get to the King of Cups over here. But the Five of Cups, with it being labeled disappointment, it's a card that it's about sort of depression, losing hope. But it also has to do with letting go. It's a card that has to do with letting go of old emotional problems to experience some type of transformation. And you can see that the woman, she's sort of staring at these three chalices, the three cups that are floating. They've been spilled out, right? They're floating in this water. All of the flowers are wilting. Everything is looking very sort of down here. But she doesn't see that she has the Two of Cups right next to her. So all is not lost, right? The Two of Cups is the soulmate card, right? It's a card of finding that true love, or, having emotional happiness. And she's so focused on whatever this disappointment was that she's not even paying attention to what might, what is still there, or what might bring her happiness and emotional fulfillment. So, if this is, obviously this can relate in, many different ways. There are many people watching. But if it's on sort of the love front, then this could be some type of having suffered some type of disappointment, things in a relationship maybe not going the way that you had planned, feeling down about the relationship, sort of, a sense of hopelessness, but not seeing that there is still something there. Maybe this has to do with still being able to work on the relationship. There is still love there, that you would be able to work on things and, and regain that Two of Cups, the Two of Cups energy, right? If this is more geared towards, the career and job and that type of thing, maybe you suffered some type of disappointment. Maybe there was a job that you thought was perfect for you. You went out for a promotion. You sent out a number of job applications, and and nothing worked out for you. But maybe what you're missing is, maybe there is something at your current place of employment. Maybe there is some type of opportunity that you haven't noticed, or you haven't been able to really focus on or see, because you've been so engulfed and wrapped up in whatever this disappointment was. So the main the main energy of the card is to not lose hope, right? Because there is this sort of sense of hopelessness here. So don't lose hope, and that there are positive things there if you are willing to sort of work on it and see them. Now, in the middle of the weekend, or the middle card that we have, is the Ten of Wands. And again, in this deck, it's called Oppression. The Wand suit, this is fire energy. And usually fire energy has to do with our careers, right? Jobs. It has to do with the sort of day-to-day activities and tasks that we have to complete. It has to do with projects. It has to do with our passions, right? Things that we feel passionate about, creative projects. And, really daily matters, right? And sort of the enthusiasm and the energy that we have when taking action on these matters. And the tens, we know that in the tarot, tens are endings, right? And especially with the Ten of Wands, this is a card that tells me that, you might have been enduring something, a difficult situation, for quite a while, right? Because, the Ten of Wands, it has been piling up and piling up, right? Maybe you were able to, maybe you had like the Three of Wands and that was fine, or the Four of Wands and you were carrying them, and Five and Six. But by the time you get to the Ten of Wands, you see that, the woman here, she is balancing all this on her head, but that is not at all easy to do. Besides being, very heavy, it's also, it takes great sort of resistance and willpower, right? And it takes a lot of balance and stability to keep those 10 wands on top of her head like that, right? So, whatever it is that you have been going through, it has been, very difficult. It has required you to remain strong, to possibly be flexible, to be willing to adapt, right? When feeling overwhelmed. It's kind of like when you see, the reeds and sort of, bending, going with the wind instead of trying to go up against it, which is kind of the message that the tsunami card brings in, because, this card, and we'll get to this in a minute, but it's a card that tells us, it's impossible to try to fight certain things, right? Just like when a tsunami comes, you don't try to outrun a tsunami. You can't outrun a tsunami. What do you need to do? You need to, kind of survey the scene, see that it's coming, right? Have that wake-up call and get out of the way. Get to higher ground, move out of the way. Don't try to go up against a tsunami and outrun it. It's not going to happen. So same thing here. If you have been carrying a heavy load, if things have been very difficult, if you put up resistance, right, if you sort of fight against it, it makes it that much more difficult. If you kind of, learn to bend and adapt and, be more flexible as you deal with whatever this difficult situation is, then, that kind of gets you through it, right? And you're able to come out the other end, which is, what comes after the Ten of Wands is the Ace of Wands. And that's a new beginning. It's that spark, that new creative project, that new possible new job offer, so again, going back to this card, if this is to do with a work or career situation, if you have been dealing with something very difficult for quite a while and, feeling very down, just know that you're nearing the end of that now, right? You're very close to sort of breaking out of that and entering into whatever this new thing is. And what caught my eye with this last card here, we have the King of Cups. You see all of the horse here, and he's charging through the water, and there's lots of water, and the water is just kind of splashing around everywhere. And then you look at this, the tsunami card, and you have the water splashing down. There's lots of movement here, right? Even though I know we think of the movement as being, the knights of the movement, and they come in and they act on things. This particular, or the way that this King of Cups is depicted, there's a lot of movement surrounding him, right? So this could be, as it's a king, we know that when the court cards appear, they can be events that we're going through. They can be us taking on the energy of the King of Cups, or it could be an actual person. If it is a person, typically it would be an older water sign individual, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Here it's a king, right? But it doesn't have, it's not gender specific. Could be male or female here. But basically, the king is the one, when you get to the queen and king of the court cards, they're the people who have really mastered the energies of the suit, right? So this is, and the King of Cups, this is fire of water. So there is this sort of fiery energy, right? And you can see he has his chalice here. We have the, him rushing in here. But that's what I got off of the card, is this very sort of fiery and lots of things kind of happening at one time. So he is a water sign individual, but there's a lot of action and surrounding him or her. Usually it has to do with somebody who's quite open, spontaneous, extroverted, right? We see that there's the sign of Cancer over the top of the cup here, over the top of the chalice. So, this has to do with emotions and feelings. And we also have the full moon here, right? Over this moving water, and there's lots of moving water. So there's sort of this depth of feeling. So could be, it could very well be an individual, right, coming in towards the end of the weekend, bringing in possibly, an offering of some type. This could be somebody, or this could just be you as you move out of this, disappointment and getting past this Ten of Wands. This could be you, right, just feeling very very kind, very compassionate. The King of Cups is also intuitive. He's somebody who is intelligent and quite diplomatic. So he's sort of the peacemaker. He's able to diffuse tensions, keep the peace. He's protective, right? In dealing with people, he tends to sort of spoil other people. He's very loving. It's that type of energy. So, but there's something with him moving fast, and with this wake up call as the guidance card, I get the feeling that there's something coming in. There's some type of message, something that you might be finding out about over the weekend that is really going to change things for you. It's really going to move you out of whatever this is right here, the Five of Cups and the Ten of Wands, and will really move you forward. And perhaps you've been, perhaps this does require some type of soul searching and, taking time out to really see things and uncover things for what they are. Because the tsunami card, obviously it's talking about the tsunami, which is, as we know, it's water that comes in very quickly, right? There's sort of all these waves that are caused by some type of earthquake or volcanic eruption out at sea, right? But the waves, when they get closer to the shoreline, they get higher and higher and higher, and the speed, right? It also gets faster and faster. So, when the waves actually hit land, that's why they say it's like a tsunami, because it's just this overwhelming, just very dramatic, enormous wave, enormous surge that comes in. And so, it's impossible to get out of its way. You can't outrun it, right? You can't, but you can sort of notice the signs, right? Notice these, the difference in the waves. You can see when if you've ever seen the videos of what happens before a tsunami, it's sort of all the water is sucked out, right? Kind of all gets sucked out to sea. And some people, it's been reported like they've been really surprised, and so they kind of go walking out and, walking out onto the beach to see what's actually going on. Well, instead of doing that, and sort of standing there and be like, oh, what is all that? And then this huge wave comes crashing in on them. This card is asking you to notice the signs, right? If you see the waves being sucked out or the water being sucked out like that, that's a sign. Get out of the way, get to higher ground, right? Don't try to go out and wait for it to come in and then try to outrun it. No, it's not going to work, Look for the signs, and that's kind of what this card is about. I'll just read you what the guidebook says for the tsunami card. And it says you are getting a wake-up call. It may be in the form of a significant loss or another dramatic event in your life, typically one that you were not prepared for initially. You may feel stunned at first, surprised by the unexpected events that are occurring, yet you also know that it is time to draw back the curtain of avoidance and denial and confront the truth that exists in the subtext of this event. You are experiencing a real-life drama, so there is no need to amplify it more than it already is. Often, when you look back after something like this has passed, you can recall signs that foreshadowed it happening. There may have been obvious clues that you ignored, or omens that were so subtle they were easy to dismiss as imaginings of the mind rather than the voice of your instinct. There are many anecdotes about animals operating purely on instinct, picking up on clues, and naturally seeking higher ground before an approaching tsunami reaches the land. To negotiate this wake-up call, listen closely to your instincts while at the same time seeking the higher ground of spiritual truth. And I think that very much ties in with the whole reading plus the Hermit card, because there is this call to take this time out, right? When I was talking about taking time out, looking within, trying to find the truth, we see this water rushing in, so something's coming in. So this could be something very unexpected. But like with the Ten of Wands, if you remain rigid, and try to go up against it, change is going to happen anyway. The tsunami is going to come in anyway. You standing there and saying, oh, I really don't want the tsunami to come in, it's not going to change the fact that the tsunami is going to come crashing in. So, if you kind of learn to bend and go with whatever this difficult situation is, whatever you find out about, you and again, this card, this is a very intuitive person. So your intuition might be kicking in over the weekend. Listen to that. Listen to your intuition. Listen to the signs. Listen to your higher self with the Hermit card here. Listen to the messages that might come in, from your higher self. Don't ignore them. They're important, right? But it seems like it's a big weekend, which kind of makes sense when I think back to the cards that we had for the daily tarot snapshots throughout the entire week. They were very powerful, right? And I kind of felt like it was leading up to something. And so again, this looks like it's going to be quite a big weekend for many people, possibly some revelations, possibly some life-changing events. But it's all about, how you decide to kind of face those events and how you react and how you deal with the events. But, after this, that there's new things. So, just try to focus on what the good, try to focus on what's coming next, focus on the next steps, trusting in, your higher self here and the messages that might be coming in, but also be careful, right? I would say just, be careful as you go through this weekend. Okay, but it does look like, it looks like a dramatic weekend, I would say. So I'd be interested to hear how this plays out. So please feel free to leave comments. Let me know how this plays out for you. So I do hope that the messages have helped you in some way, and I look forward to reading for you again. And just know that I'm sending everybody much peace, love, and light for this weekend. Bye.